Hey guys, how you going? It's Rachel here from Mission Magnets, and I just wanted to jump on and share with you a little experience that I had with my daughter yesterday in regards to her not wanting to take her medication for ADHD. So just for a little bit of backstory, in case you don't know, my daughter is nearly 11 and she was diagnosed with ADHD just before her 8th birthday. Not long after that, we trialed medication, and after a few hurdles of getting the right one, it has been amazing for her and for our family, life-changing. As my pediatrician said, she is the poster child for medication doing what it should do. So I guess it was a little bit of a surprise for me yesterday for her to say that she didn't want to take it. And so I went through why she didn't want it. She didn't know why, she just didn't want to have it. And I asked her whether she didn't like the way it made her feel, and I sort of queried her with lots of different questions and lots of sort of probing things to try and get to the bottom of why. And she's just like, nah, I just don't want to have it. And she was being quite argumentative about it and pushing my buttons quite a lot. So unfortunately I did lose my patience for a while, and I did get cross in the end, and she got upset and we had some separation. And I regained my calm. This is what we have to do as parents. We have to find our calm, start again. And then I went back and we had a big chat. So we talked about, again, maybe what she thinks would happen if she didn't have her medication. And she's like, oh, I don't really know. And I think the thing is for us, because it's been such a journey and she's been having it for so long, she's kind of forgotten, I guess, a little bit of what it's like without having it. So, and we talked a little bit about that, and I said, well, do you know what your medication does? And she said, well, not really. So again, these are conversations that we had, but she was 8. So I decided that, well, I asked her actually if she would like to go through and we could watch some things together, and she said yes, for sure. So we're going to do that in a little while. We're going to watch the How to ADHD channel, Jessica, because I love her, and watch a few things just so she has a better understanding again and of her brain and how her brain works. But I guess to help her in that moment, what I wanted to do is sort of give her a picture of why it was beneficial for her to have the medication. So for Coco, her main, what's the word I'm looking for? Her most debilitating symptom, I guess, of ADHD is emotional regulation. That is what she struggles with the most. That is what we really notice this difference, and that's where she really, really struggles. And so I said to her that what the ADHD medication does for her, it gives her a volume switch for her emotions. And I said, well, imagine if you were watching TV, and imagine if it was a bit quiet and you wanted to turn it up, but you couldn't just turn it up a little bit, you just went to full blast. And that would hurt your ears, and you're like, oh, and then instead of turning it down, it went all the way down. And so it was either up or down, and there was no middle ground, and there was no kind of middle measure. It was just really loud or barely hear it. And I said to her, without her medication, that's often how her emotions are. She's either really, really overwhelmed and upset, or she's really sad, or she's really angry, and the middle area just is really hard for her. And it would be like trying to watch TV when we did not have when our volume switch was not working properly. So I said that when she has the medication, then she's able to adjust, and she's able to feel the things, but they're not as overwhelming. So she still feels sad about something, but it's not the end of the world. And that was really a great way for her to understand something she could really tangibly feel and see, that having that little regulation. So we talk about emotional regulation, but of course children don't really know what regulation is, but they do understand a volume switch. So that was really good, and she was actually really positive with that. She said, yep, and she understood that why that was it. And I said the difference is being, for example, she's getting upset with her sister a lot lately, her older sister, because she feels that her sister, doesn't want to hang out with her a little bit, so because her sister's getting older. I said, well, the difference is when if your sister doesn't want to play with you or says something mean, when you don't have your medication, it feels like you want to die about that. It feels like it's over the moon. It feels like there's nothing more, and you just get into overwhelm. Whereas when you can use that volume switch, you still feel hurt and you still feel upset about it, but it's not the end of the world, and you're able to process it and move through it and get over it and talk about it and be able to just manage the emotions. So that's just something you might want to try with your kids if there is it's a way of just explaining what's happening with the brain and how that it does give you the volume switch. So yeah, just sharing that little top tip, a little story with you. And if you would like to know more about this, then just hit subscribe. All right, thanks guys.